everyone, my name is Jinshil Yi and I am the Managing Director of Second City Chamber Series. It is my great privilege to have with me today Cameron, Julian, and Korine. I would love to ask you some things about music, but also some things about what makes you the full person that you are. And Korine, I remember at a YCP coaching when you were doing amazing coachings for our young chamber music players, I was very impressed by your mention of a passion that you have outside of music. Would you like to tell us a little bit about this passion?
Yeah, I guess that it would be referring to my passion slash sport slash hobby slash obsession known as geocaching. And so geocaching, for those who don't know what it is, it's like a hide and go seek or a treasure hunt using GPS technology to locate things that are hidden by other geocachers. And sometimes they're very, very simple little things, and sometimes they're amazingly hidden in full view of everybody, but you don't recognize it unless you're looking for it. And it's something I fell into by mistake. Accidentally, when my son, we dropped him off at college, and I found a geocache not knowing what I'd found, but I read about it, and then I thought, oh, that's really cool. And so I started doing it. And then I realized that after a while I had been doing one every day. And so I started I started a geocaching streak 1,348 days ago. I've found at least one geocache every day, no matter where I am in the world and no matter what I'm doing. I've managed to keep that going. It's not going to be forever. I can't imagine doing this to like 4,000 days. No, maybe I'll get to 1,500. So that's what I do. I really like going on long hikes with a destination unknown, except for what is dictated by the coordinates on my little GPS device. I also use it to explore the communities that I'm in here at home, I've seen a lot of neighborhoods and a lot of areas that I would have never explored, seen some really amazing parks and beaches and views. And when I'm traveling, I get a chance to go out into the cities and explore there too. And yeah, I really like it. I won't quit after I stop the streak, but I think my family will breathe a collective sigh of relief, as will my colleagues.
Have you found anything music related in your geocache?
Oh yeah, there are some people that use music and music notation and things related to music to create puzzles that you have to decipher the coordinates using music. I also have hidden a number of puzzle caches that use music as a way to, you have to decipher what the coordinates are using different things with music. I found one that actually had a music box in it, and you had to play the music box and figure out what the solfege was in order to find the next level of the geocache. As a composer, when I'm writing, I'm very focused in on what I'm doing, and if I weren't making myself get out and go get a geocache, I would likely be sitting in the same place for weeks on end. So this makes me break that pattern and do something outside, which I think it's healthy. It's not a bad thing. It's good.
So fun.
Very fun.
Cameron, it sounds like you have a passion that is also potentially socially distanced.
Yeah, golf is my passion. So that's whenever I can get out and I'm not performing or practicing or teaching or administrating or all the countless things that I do. I love to get outdoors and play golf. And it's one of those things that you're never good enough. And I got a long way to go for sure. But every now and again, even a blind squirrel finds a nut. And so occasionally I do hit a good shot.
You know, it sounds like with mom and dad out on their socially distanced hobbies that take a while to complete, Julian, you've had to fend for yourself at home. So what has happened here? What are some of your
Well, I really love to cook. It's a passion of mine that was actually it was kind of developed high school around then, when I would get home and maybe parents would still be at work or something, and I'd make myself a snack or something before dinner, and so then that developed into watching like videos on YouTube on different chefs cooking things and learning different techniques and stuff, and now it's something that I really love to do, and something I love challenging myself with, and it's always a nice payoff because I get to reap rewards afterwards as well.
We really enjoy the fact that Julian's passion is cooking. It's really a treat to have him here. We did not expect to have the 3 months with our adult son in close proximity at this point in our lives, but it's been fantastic. And, he's a really cool kid. We really love him.
I love that. So in our final few minutes here, I'd like to just ask you about your concise answer, but heartfelt. What do you feel is the most important part of chamber music? Why is it important for our community? And what do you value about chamber music and also about Second City Chamber Series here in Tacoma?
I'll start with chamber music. And for me, it is, and I maybe talked about this earlier, it's about the literature, of course. It's an incredible wealth of music, of different instruments, different sizes of ensembles. It is just great. But I think the most appealing part of chamber music is the musical conversations and interactions that happen. And I think when you connect it to what's going on in the world right now and how we are not listening very well to each other and not understanding the challenges of what our fellow humans are facing, chamber music is kind of that, and certainly it's not as big of an issue as some of the things our world is facing right now. But in a nutshell, it really does bring people together from different backgrounds, some very strong convictions sometimes about feelings about this phrase has got to go this way. I will not change. And there are things that happen that way. And you got to adjust and you figure it out and you talk to each other and you have your disagreements, but you keep going. And it's about putting together the final product. And that is, to me, what makes chamber music wonderful.
I can jump in. Music in general is something that communicates without words and reaches into different levels of the brain. From my own experience, so we've played in some really interesting venues and some really beautiful venues and some very famous venues. And that's all really important, very, very memorable. And I love playing concerts for people and getting paid for that. That's great. I really do. But I think probably the most important concerts I've ever felt were, there were two, maybe two or three, but concerts that we did. One, we did a concert where we have, it's a not ticketed event, but we had a busload of residents from an Alzheimer facility. And they came, they were in the wheelchair or walked in with the facility caregivers and sat down, and they were quiet and very, some of them were more further along in the progression of Alzheimer's, and some of them were not as far along. But it was, clearly was a very, very quiet group at that time. And we started playing and people were singing and conducting and crying. And that for me was a very, very important moment, because really I felt the power of music to reach deep inside of our brains. These were people who were not communicating until the music was happening. Most recently we were in Arizona and played for this school, and we had these little kids like on the floor, and we were singing with them and they were singing back to us. And that kind of direct communication with no filters, not at all. Very, very, very meaningful. The fact that we can go into small spaces and have a conversation with people who do speak the same language or don't speak the same language, that we can have a meaningful exchange of ideas. That's why chamber music in particular is really important to me. And in Second City, I feel like the fact that it's made so accessible for pretty much, if you come, we'll find you a group to play in, and we'll find you music to play together. And we're going to teach you how to work through putting a piece of music together. And then everything that Cameron talked about, how to listen, how to talk, how to negotiate, how to accept, how to compromise, how to make a compromise feel not like a compromise, how to believe in an idea that was never your idea in the first place. You know, those are skills that chamber music teaches, and Second City is starting that right away with the young chamber players.
I don't know what else is left to say. I mean, I think chamber music is, I mean, sometimes you can put it in a box of like, okay, the trios and quartets and etc. But I think in chamber music, it couldn't be so much more. It can be you and a couple friends just jamming with a couple instruments in a basement. No music, not reading off of any music, and just having friends and having that connection. And I think there are so many fond memories of performances in varying degrees of formality, either on a concert stage or in a coffee house or something. And each time you play with the people in your group, it's you are kind of connecting every rehearsal that you've had, every joke, every disagreement, and it's all kind of coming together in one moment. And I think that's really something that's so special. And I find that people in the audience interact with chamber music very differently than other settings. I feel like it's a more intimate experience for everyone. I feel like I feel like it's almost more casual because there's a small group of people on stage and you can see them interacting with each other and having fun with each other, and you feel like you're a part of that.
Amazing. Thank you so very much. This is beautiful.